That's you?
Yeah, that was me. I
Okay,
just turned
alright,
off.
alright. That spooked me out. I thought it was an ear. I was like, "Whoa, what noise is that?" I haven't heard that one before. Alright, we're live, Siddhuey. We're live for our,
Sweet.
let me refresh. Let me refresh. It's not refreshing. Okay, there we go. Alright. Episode 10, Siddhuey Reviewy, Hammer and Nail. All right, let's get right on into it.
I feel like, yeah, that title, like, I have to explain that title right away because
I,
everyone's like, why is it called Hammer and Nail? You know what I mean? Um, yeah, so I'll just jump right into it then. I mean, as you can see, we're talking about women's soccer. So for those who haven't been following, the U.S. women's soccer team has drawn their last two matches. They finished the group stage with 5 points, enough to finish second in the group, and they've advanced to the round of 16, where they'll play one of the favorites in the competition, Sweden. So this is actually going to be one of like this was a game that some thought would be, well, many thought it would be the final versus USA, and instead they're playing in the round of 16.
and who was that against to do? Against who?
Sweden.
Sweden. Okay.
Yeah. So Sweden versus the United States. So that's a round of 16 game, which really should be like a final. So it's kind of big. But what's the reason the United States are ending up in this position where they're playing one of the favorites in the round of 16 is because they didn't win their group, which was a surprising thing. The reason they didn't win their group is because they're struggling a lot right now out there on the field. Some of that is coaching. Some of that is just personnel. They have some injuries. Things are going bad for them. And another part of it is that, and the article I know subscriber a lot. Shout out to the Atlantic. Um, but because what's interesting is that the Holland's coach before their second match, the United States played Holland in the second game. The Dutch, wow, zooming in on that. Dutch coach
I don't know. I don't know if I
said
like that jersey, dude. That's what I was zooming in on. I don't know if I like that. It looks like they it
none
looks
of
like they left it in the
the
washer machine and somebody left a marker in their jeans. I wasn't trying to interrupt you, but I zoomed in. Then you
yeah,
noticed I zoomed
yeah,
in.
yeah,
I'm getting the vibe that's why I zoomed in. It looks like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I put my pants in there, right? And I
yeah.
left a Sharpie. The cap came off the Sharpie. It got all over their jersey. What's up with that? The other team's got a nice color going on here. Very nice. I like the orange and green. Different. You don't see a lot of
Actually red.
American team. Huh?
It's actually red. That's Portugal that you're seeing
That's
right there.
red?
So Portugal's flag is red and green.
As a color
Maybe it's a
expert,
reddish
it's a
orange.
very it's an orangey red. I'll go orangey red.
But it's red. I mean, Portugal is red and green. That's their color. So, but that's a good point on the jerseys because the United States like jerseys, just in general, have never really been good. Men or women's, I've never been really impressed with them. Like I know the colors are really like neutral, so they kind of go with anything, and there's a reason why people kind of buy the jerseys. But like in terms of the actual style of them, like as you said, it doesn't look good. If you kind of go back through history, like I should have put that in the chat. Was like what U.S. jerseys? Like none of them are that great. You know what I mean? Like the good ones that usually come from like Brazil. You
Nah,
get some
the men's
area.
one, the blue, the classic blue one they used to wear, the men's team at least.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong
yeah.
with that one.
Nothing wrong. Nothing great.
There's nothing great with this supposed red one either.
I,
I'm just
I'm not saying that's a top tier jersey. I
all
can
right.
show
I'm
you.
gonna get another. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna look it up. All right, continue with your women's soccer. I'll look it
I'll
up.
just well, because I mean, yeah, this is not that exciting to talk about. Not just saying in soccer in general isn't that exciting. The U.S. women's part of the reason why they're struggling is that the rest of the countries have caught up. It's kind of like men's basketball, where men's basketball was killing everyone for so long, but then everyone else started to play in the rest of the world. They caught up to the United States, and then there were teams that could challenge them. And in '04, they actually lost and did not win the gold medal at the Olympics, right? So that's kind of happening to the U.S. women's soccer team, where the other countries are catching up to them, and they're now kind of, not they're not having that athletic advantage they used to have. Now, that's really the key point. Like, they're just other teams have caught up. They have a lot of injuries, and they're just struggling a little bit. That's normal, right? But some of the former players, Carly Lloyd specifically, has been kind of saying, "Oh, this is the team not trying hard. They're entitled. They're just not really playing with any sort of force, togetherness." And she kind of said after every game that they play. And this is why I titled the show "We Hammer and Nail" is because that's just not true. That's also a point that a person can make that no one can really prove. Like, you can't really tell the motivation of athletes. So you can look at the way they're playing and you can say, well, their actions show me that they're not, running hard or cutting hard, right? So then you can say, okay, these things I'm not seeing, but you don't know if that it's a lack of motivation. You don't know if that's because they're tired. Like, there's a number of reasons why those things could be true. And her default is they don't want it. They, all those typical things you hear. They're not trying hard, blah blah blah. And she's kind of use this as a hammer to beat down the team, and it's a hammer and nail situation because that nail is always going to be there. Right? You can keep hammering it because that point can be used in any situation, any game. You can say, "Oh, they're not motivated." You can say that any game, but it's just like an easy take, and so they're getting a lot of criticism in that regard. I think that's unfair. It's just like an easy take. And so it's kind of disappointing to hear that from a forward player, but also like this is the kind of analysis you see in sports, so it's just stupid. But yeah, that's just my point on them. They're struggling, like I said, they're playing Sweden in the next round. I think the way that they're playing, they're probably gonna get knocked out. And once they get knocked out, that's gonna be a big like inquest in US women's soccer, like what's happened to the team, how can they kind of regain superiority going forward. So you find anything on those jerseys?
Yeah, you're a little choppy, bro. You're a little choppy McChopper.
I told you because it was a stream, but
Yeah,
you didn't
but
want to listen.
no, you didn't listen to me, dude. I see how you commented. I can see the comments. You didn't listen to
I
me.
could turn this off, bro, and it won't make a difference. I'm telling you.
So
Here.
you didn't listen to me at all, and you did both instead. Was your theory? And also, I disagree with you full heartedly. The worst jersey in the soccer league is Mexico. It looks like a freaking Christmas tree. The second worst jersey in the soccer league is Iran. I don't know what they were thinking when they designed theirs. We aren't the best. I'm not going to say that. But this is just hideous right here. What was going on right here?
Yeah, that's
What,
not
what is
great.
this? And legit, Mexico, what were you thinking? This legit looks like a Christmas tree going up. Then with
Yeah.
the red dots on the sleeve, it's like the lights or something. Get out of here. Now, the best jersey, and I'm not just saying this, but I mean, come on. Australia just looks classy. They use their colors. They got great colors, yellow and green. It's just
You know,
fantastic looking.
I'll,
Brazil,
well, I'll say this. I'll
Brazil.
say this. So Australia, to me, that particular yellow is much better in cricket than it is in soccer. The way it looks on the field.
Okay, okay,
Interesting. I know it's a
okay,
good yellow.
okay,
No one's doubting the quality of the yellow,
okay.
but on a soccer field, it doesn't quite hit the same. Brazil yellow hits better. It's a lot better. Now, part of that could just be like the fact that Brazil is just a better team, so you kind of associate success with that color. But
There's this little neon though. It looks like the person riding a bike where they don't want to get ran over. So that's why I'm not
yeah,
super sold on Brazil. I will say, I'm gonna say something that's maybe some people take this controversial, but I think France. It's just a nice basic blue shirt. It's very nice. They have their little logo on
yeah,
one side. They got the Nike logo on the other. It's simple. It's tasteful. It's very, and these red tones and stuff are just really just brew in your eyes. And the blue is just it's calming. It's nice. I like that. That's why I like the Australian yellow. It's not an abrupt yellow like this other yellow over here. Mustard. I'm seeing mustard. I'm not a fan of the mustard,
mm,
right?
mm,
The
mm,
Australian one is in between these two, right? You got the
yeah.
mustard and then you got the neon. Australia kind of falls right in between those two. I like that. Now, Germany, they went with something and they tried something with theirs. I don't like the logos in the center though.
I like it.
The stripe's okay, but if you would have put the Adidas on one side and maybe their team logo on the other, it might have looked better. But some of these where they went just out of control here with like chest marks, or like Mexico with their Christmas tree, or Japan with these weird stripes. I'm not in. I personally not into any of that. Not into the Saudi Arabia. Like, what? It looks like someone stained their shirt. Like, what's going on here? Like, I don't know. Switzerland. No.
These are the jerseys that I saw at the World Cup. I thought Japan's jersey looked nice at the World Cup. I think France has that elegant little French look, and they had a great team. So one thing I like about the France is like their lettering's in gold. So the gold
you can't
really
see that.
Yeah, you can't really see that, but in the game, in the real life, it's in gold, so it really pops when you see it. It's tough to rate. I mean, like I think Argentina is so classic and nice. I love Argentina's in the top left.
Argentina top left. Yeah.
It's just tough too because part of my judgment is wrong because I'm also colored by like how these things look on the field, and like also like the history behind the shirts.
I'm going I'm going fan base.
Yeah,
wearing them.
Yeah, you have a better idea. You have a better eye for this than I am because mine's like biased by like other things that don't matter.
I'm trying to think. Like, what am I matching this with at home? What am I matching this with at home? To
me, that's what makes Argentina's jersey really great. Because let me tell you why. You can throw that on with dark jeans. Mm-hmm. You could throw that on with black pants. You could throw that on with gold, kind of goldish, like like a deep, not like bright
gold pants. What is going on?
I like gold. Kind of like a brownish gold kind of thing. It's not like a gold like it pops at all. It's like very muted in tone, like fall, like brownish gold kind of thing. You could wear that with a lot of different stuff, man. Like it's accessible. I mean, look, I still think Japan. I mean, yeah, we gotta see more in action, but yeah.
I'm on my other screen over here. I'm looking at them in action. I'm doing what you were kind of saying. I want to see what they look like on the field. I mean, I have to. I'm seeing the women's jerseys right now going for $209. Jeez McGee's to buy one. Those are. I'm telling you, it looks like someone splattered a marker all over it. Just not a good design, personal opinion. I don't know if they were going for confetti or what they were going for, but not a fan. I don't like the stripes. So a lot of the stripes. I will say this. This is the first thing I want to say. Okay. Soccer jerseys are the best sports jerseys you can buy if you're a fan.
100%.
They're fantastic to wear. They're breathable. If you got a summer day and you're going to Disneyland, that's a fantastic shirt to wear because it's going to breathe. If you start to sweat, it dries quick too. It's just soccer jerseys. Football jerseys are similar, but they're so baggy and heavy on you, quality-wise. Baseball is only good if it's winter, because those things are like they're made for like war or something. and basketball, I just don't have the arms. I'm not ripped enough to be pulling off a good basketball jersey. I got too much stomach to pull it off, right?
Yeah. Same.
So I think I've told you this before, Siddhuey. I am a big fan of wearing soccer jerseys. I have a Messi. Yeah. I got it when I was in Barcelona, and I have worn that thing all the time. And I got a couple other ones that are not related to teams. That because people have made them, because people must know soccer jerseys are nice, So I am a big fan.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. I'm a huge fan as well. They've gotten a lot more popular, I feel like, in recent years. Like, you see them in, like, rap videos and things like that now, people wearing them. Like, it's a real fashion statement to, like, wear a good jersey. You know what I mean? So
Costa Rica's not bad. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of New Balance, but it's cool.
I think the Japan one is nice. I disagree with you. I think because I've seen it in person. It looks good.
Let me look. I'll pull up a photo.
Well, we'll look at World Cup 2022 Japan. And I think it looked good and so I would say that one.
Yeah, it's too much for my taste to do. I could see you wearing it. It's not for me. It's a little much. And I'm not a huge Adidas guy either.
Yeah,
I
I'm not a big Adidas guy, but on the field, this looked good.
I could see it looking good on the field. I could see it looking good on the
This looked
field.
good on the field. I mean,
Yeah, I
I
could see
don't know
that.
how it would look in like whatever, but on the field, I remember they looked good, bro. They were looking.
I feel like I'm being a jerk off right now too, though. The jersey just distracted me. I took us totally away from your women's soccer FIFA World Cup
No,
talk.
this is better. This is way more interesting. This is way more interesting.
No, 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 no. This
Um,
is the World Cup. They're also. I noticed something else that you said. What have they done in the last 2 games?
they got a draw. They've tied.
That's what I was about to say. You said draw.
Yeah,
Now,
that's what they call
why do
it.
you use that over tie?
I only use it in soccer. It's weird.
Well,
Soccer has
you
like
can't
certain
tie in
things.
other sports, right? You can't tie in basketball or baseball.
What I'm saying is like, if I was playing like a basketball game outside with my friends, right? Let's just say whatever it was, and a game ended in a tie, I would call it a tie. So I was saying I would call it a tie. If but when you ask me with soccer, what happened? Like what happened to them to go draw? And the reason I say that is you just have it's a different like vernacular, I guess, that you use with soccer. Like I don't refer to it as a game. It's like, oh, it's a match. It's not a field, it's a pitch. Like it's just there's different words that you use for it, and I'm so accustomed to using those, I just use that naturally. But it wasn't like it was just soccer. That's how
Is
you
it
speak it.
history or is that what's commonplace in soccer?
That's just that's the commonplace way of talking about the game. Now I think a lot of that just comes from England, right? Like England is the originator of the game, and for us as Americans, that's what we listen to. That's who we're watching, whatever it is, to to learn about the game. And so that's how they speak about the game. So that's how we talk about the game. And that's common. That's common for anyone who starts speaking about soccer in the English language, like who wants to like act like or starts acting like they really know the game. It's like that's how you speak about it. Like if I were to sit there and go, yeah, the U.S. Last 2 games they've tied, right? Like people would think I'm like, nah, I don't know the game. But like if you say like, oh yeah, they drew their last 2 matches. Like, oh, this guy,
He
he's
follows.
soccer.
He's
Yeah,
following.
he follows. You know what I mean? Like it's just like a little lingo thing that you
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of.
yeah. I follow you. I follow you. I feel like every sport kind of loosely has that.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. I was just I picked up on it, and I didn't want to interrupt you because that was one of the first things you said. I was intrigued. I was like, huh, that's interesting because usually you hear people say tie, but that's interesting. I find that to be very interesting. All right, any other soccer news? How's MLS going? Do we have any MLS news? What's the
I
scores?
didn't bring up the MLS because I mean it's in fact this is our 10th episode, and it could have been a good time to talk about the greatest number 10 of all time, which is Lionel Messi. But if we do want to talk about that, we kind of touched on it last time we did the show, so it wasn't much difference. But Messi's dominating, doing his thing, and yeah, he's a great player. That's pretty much that's the report on Messi and MLS. So yeah.
Where am I? San Jose 6 in the Western Conference. Come on, San Jose, step it up, bro. Where? And Miami's in last right now. This is on the MLS website.
Yeah, I told you he joined a really terrible team. It's not like he's been there the whole season. He's only been playing the last like 3 games.
Well, I don't give a
Um,
win them 3 games.
they did, I
Did they?
think. They
Okay.
have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cincinnati is number 1 right now. It's
Well, good
Cincinnati.
job, Cincinnati.
It's Cincinnati and St.
Bet-
Louis. 2 places I never thought would be good at soccer.
Who did you think would be good at soccer? LA?
LA, yes. Justin, yes. You hear a lot about Portland. Maybe that's because we live here on the West Coast. Or maybe, no, Seattle, the Sound, right? Seattle, I hear a lot about them. I'm looking at the rest of these team names, and I'm going to tell you.
feel like
L.A.
I should.
L.A. Montreal. You know, I can see Montreal doing some things. Toronto.
Okay.
Toronto. Uh, and Orlando City, because Orlando's never good at anything. They should be good at soccer, and they're fifth, so they're not doing that bad.
Out of like 10 teams, that's not great.
No, there's 30 teams. No, there is 29 teams in the MLS.
There's not 29 teams in the MLS.
I'm looking at the MLS website. There's 15 Eastern Conference teams, and there's 14 Western Conference teams. I'm not gonna sit here and read them all off, but that's what it says here.
Oh wow! Oh, sorry. I thought you said a different number. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. I'm totally.
15
yes,
and 15 Eastern
That
Conference,
makes sense. Sorry.
14 Western Conference.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
I guess
sorry.
I'm Mr. Soccer over here. Look at me.
Yes, you are. We're gonna turn to you now for all the information. I'm just
gonna have to phone call BK and be like, "Yo, can you ask your brothers about soccer real quick?" Nashville's also not doing bad. Who would have thought that? Never would have thought that. Didn't think that would be something they would be into, but all right. But the city doesn't really make a difference on the team, so it doesn't matter. All right. Anyways, moving right along. All right, let's get. We're off soccer. All right, into baseball. Siddhuey's favorite sport.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Yeah.
Siddhuey's favorite pastime. All right, so I went to a baseball game. I went to the Giants versus the A's. Battle of the Bay is what they seem to call that. And it was the first time I've been to a game since they've added the pitching clock in. I do think it moves a lot faster, and it does make it a little bit more fun. Well, not fun necessarily. It just makes it more entertaining. It's the pacing is really, they're going at it, it felt like.
Did you find yourself looking at the clock and stuff and watching it continuously? Or like, how was your experience with that? Like,
well, the Giants Stadium's interesting. The clock was from where I was sitting in the first base, far baseline towards outfield, but on the first base. You know what I'm saying? You got this is my seat.
yeah, I can see.
Looking at
I can tell you
the mega screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
The clock is over near the dugout. Obviously, that's so that the pitcher could see it.
Yeah.
Because so that it's on the dugout. Yeah. I don't know if it's on both dugouts, but for me, it would have been on the visiting side's dugout, so off to the left. I didn't notice it until I was getting food, and then I was eating my slice of Tony's, great pizza, if you're local here. And I then noticed it at that point. I was like, "Oh, that's the pitching clock right there," because it's going, fast.
Yeah.
And there's not that much time on it, and you're like, "What is that?" And then I was like, "Oh, that must be the pitching clock." I also was trying to tell if I could see that the bases were bigger, but I couldn't tell that. The bases seemed the same. Visually, you don't really notice it. It just seemed like bases. But yeah, the game was it's like almost like you sit down, you're relaxing, and it's almost like, damn, we're already in the second inning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of went by that quick. To talk about the game, we didn't score for a minute there. We as in Oakland, I shouldn't even say Oakland. We as in the Athletics. But then we scored. I think it was in the fifth. We scored 3. But then it was 5-3, so it was. But I didn't want to lose to the Gigantos with get skunked out here, a 0-point game. So as an Athletic fan, was just happy that we got on the board. But the cool thing, now I've been going to baseball games since I was a child. A's games. I've never really been on the mega screen. I think me and Fats have been on TV once because a ball went behind us. I have the photo. Someone sent it to me. And we're not even facing the camera. It's me and Fats looking back at the ball landing behind us. And the reason they probably showed us is because it was an empty stadium. And then there's me and Fats in no fans. And that's the closest I've been, right? My niece gets on TV in no time at all. Now, I knew me and Paige realized this was going to happen. Really, Paige realized it because there was an empty seat behind us. and
Mm.
the cameraman was sitting in there with the camera, like focusing it on her.
Oh, no way.
So Paige kind of tapped me and was like, "Yo, I think Alessandra's gonna get on the mega screen." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And I like looked back. I was like, "Oh yeah, she is." So then I had my phone just on video mode, just waiting, so that
Dude,
when it would happen, I would catch the moment, and I got the moment. There she is. That's the back of Paige's head, and Alessandra's
yeah.
eating a cookie. Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, how did he get his camera out so fast and start recording? And so I'm so like, I was just saying, I was like,
'Cause
that's the most incredible thing because that's a flash, bro.
Yeah,
That's
it's
like
a
that's like a
flash.
split second.
Yeah.
You caught that. I was like, that's amazing that you caught that.
Yeah. No, it's because Paige just was like, "Yo, I think they're gonna film us," and so I was just like ready for it. So the second she was on there, I pressed record, and I was like, "Yeah, got it." Which, like, man, that's like hitting a home run on your own. Because, dude, they like you could see like she's only on screen for like a millisecond. Like, if I
Yeah,
didn't know, if I didn't already have my phone ready on video mode, there's
yeah.
no way I would have gotten that.
There's no way. There's no way, dude. It was fast.
It's so fast, yeah.
Crazy.
So I was able to capture that moment, which is really really cool. That we now have Alessandra as a
That's
baby
super
on
cool.
the mega screen. That was a really cool moment. Other than that, we didn't even stay for the end. She was getting fussy, and it was time to put her down, and we took off. So, not the most, you know, uh, not the best first game experience to experience the new rules, but really cool to be there and to get to capture this moment of her being on the mega screen. So that happened.
That's really cool, dude. Yeah, that's like a really. I've never been on the big screen,
Yeah,
so that's really cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's
yeah,
really awesome.
dude. When me and Fats got on TV or whatever, we didn't know that until like we were leaving the game, and somebody like maybe it was Fats' dad or somebody texted us like an image, and it was
Mm.
us. I think actually, if you're an actual Overshow fan, I'm pretty sure I posted that image on the Overshow Instagram at some point. So if you go through the Overshow Instagram, there should be that image of me and Fats at the game. And we're literally legit. You can't even see our faces though. You could just tell it's our bodies, and we're looking the other way. But that's the closest. And I like me and Fats used to go to every Tuesday game for years there and stuff. We go to every bobblehead game. Like we go to a lot of baseball games. Never.
Tuesdays or Wednesdays?
I think it was Tuesdays because it was Tuesdays was the free parking because it was Bart night. Which I also now that we're on
Mm.
baseball, this never made sense to me. They called it Bart night and they gave you free parking. It's like, well, why would I take Bart?
Yeah, that makes no sense. I
Such a
really.
weird time. They stopped doing that, which is a shame because the parking, the parking, like I think now it's like 40-50 bucks. So to not have to pay for that, it's such a great little deal there. Um,
Yeah.
it was either that or like there was like $2 Tuesdays maybe or something. Fats would know. But then we'd go to
I
every
think it was
bobble
$2 Tuesdays, but
$2
yeah.
Tuesdays, and then there was some Bart night that was free parking. Maybe it was Wednesdays, but we'd hit both those up. We'd also go for all the bobbleheads, and I was big on going, as you know, Sadu, because I think you've attended it with us. Firework nights. I was
Yeah.
always, I still am a
Yeah.
big fan of the firework nights. So,
Especially the
um,
Star Wars ones.
yeah, those were good. Those were good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so yeah, I mean that was my experience. I had a really good time. Great to go to a ball game. It was my first game of the season. I haven't gone to any. Shame it was a Giants game, but it is what it is. But the one thing I will say about the Giants is they do have the food on lockdown. They got Tony's, and it's
Tony's?
like legit Tony's. So, I mean, so did the Warriors, but to have a nice slice of Tony's though, dude, and they got like a nice little standing area where you could like you get your slice and walk over, and I could watch the game. That's when I noticed the clock was when I was eating the Tony's. Super cool, outing with the fam. Here and then yeah, that's it. Nothing else about the game. Here's the
Yeah.
standings right now. I figured we'd give it a look. I know Sadu didn't have much articles on baseball, but I figured we'd at least look at what we're looking like. And right now, it is not looking good for our Oakland Athletics. We are the bottom of the barrel with only 30 wins, 77 losses right now. They're live in
At
LA
least,
against the Dodgers. Not
at
looking
least they'll
good.
get the number. At least they'll get the number one pick before they move to Vegas.
They're not moving to Vegas for years, bro. They're moving, but they're like Vegas could get like we're gonna talk basketball in a little bit, and I seen basketball. There's rumors that they're gonna add 2 expansion teams,
Yeah,
one to Seattle, one to
Vegas.
Vegas. They can
Yeah.
make a team in Vegas tomorrow because the team in Vegas is gonna share the hockey arena, which is already built right there on the strip, and it's a beautiful arena from my understanding. Me and BK when we went to see Anderson Paak and Bruno Mars, aka Silk Sonic.
Mm.
We saw them at the I think it's called the Adobe Theater, and it was across the street. It's side note, beautiful theater across the street right from the hockey stadium. I haven't been inside the hockey stadium, but that was the closest. So I was like, oh wow, that's where the Golden Knights play, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Clearly, that would be where the whatever basketball team would play. When it comes to baseball, though, they actually have to build, and they're claiming to build a brand new Oakland or Vegas Athletic Stadium. That's going to take some time. So, just like the Raiders, I think we'll know once they break ground on that how long we have. It'll be like 2 years from that point, and they haven't even broken ground. So that to answer your question on that, Siddhu. But as far as baseball goes, for the AL, it's looking like Baltimore sitting nice, and my least favorite team, Texas, is at 60. Oh, so is Houston, both Texas teams. And we're actually going to talk a little bit about Houston. I hate both those teams. And other than that, Tampa Bay at 66 too. I didn't even notice that. So Tampa Bay and Baltimore. I root for Baltimore out of all those teams, to be honest, in the AL. If I had to pick one, I'd go with Baltimore.
I'd probably go with Tampa, if only
Okay.
because they are the most similar to the A's in terms of a smaller market team that kind of has to win on the margins, well, what the A's used to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of like that.
They're playing that
with
money ball baseball.
Yeah.
And then for the NL, we got Atlanta just killing it, 68.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a lot of high 50s here. Philly, Miami, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Dodgers still up in there, and the Giants. The Giants. There was a new Giants player. I don't remember his name. Ira was with me. He's Paige's baby's daddy is a really big Giants fan. And they
they have.
yes, some new rookie came out, and it was his first game while we were at the game. And the Giants fans, I give credit to the Giants fans. They're diehards at least. At least they are real good fans. They stood up and cheered for this young man like no other, and it was his first time ever to bat. And he hit this thing. He got a good hit on it, Siddhu. And then we caught it. Far outfield, and the A's got it. I was like, oh. At least that happened, That was the one little good moment. But, dude, he was maybe 2 feet off from getting his first homer. First swing, could have had it. He smacked it good, dude. That's the thing I like about baseball, bro, is that moment. Like, if that would have went out and he got a homer and it was his first time ever to bat in a major league game, that's a moment, dude. And they were already cheering, so they would have exploded if he would have gotten that. You know what I mean? And I like that little excitement. Like, that's the thing about baseball is, like, it's like a ticking time bomb. Everyone's, like, waiting for something to happen. Basketball, I've been to a million live basketball games. A million. And I love basketball. And when you're in the playoffs, it gets gnarly. Playoffs get gnarly. But especially because I'm with BK, who's rooting and raving the whole time, dude, losing his voice, The thing about baseball is it's like oh yeah, we're hanging out, and then something a 3-run homer happens, and that place lights up, you know what I mean? And it's just that moment, it's like a pressure cooker, I like that. I enjoy that.
I think that's true I think that's kind of the romance of low-scoring sports.
Yeah.
And, like, that's why, like, soccer, we be like, oh, you get so much excitement. The pressure's building up, the tension in the game, and you get the goal. But, I mean, obviously I understand what you're
hockey too, right?
hockey's more high scoring and more freewheeling. I mean, you'll see 7 threes, like you see
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
scoring like that in hockey, like,
yeah,
and then
true.
granted, even baseball has a little bit more scoring, but
Yeah,
yeah,
soccer's the least scoring sport for sure.
yeah, yeah,
So you know what I'm saying. Well, you watch baseball too over the years. Like you know what I'm saying. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
there's just
yeah,
something about connecting that ball and the noise it makes when you're there in person and they hit it
yeah,
good. And it's quiet, and then you hear that snap. You know, it's just something about that, dude. I there's something about live baseball, dude. TV baseball, I can't stand it. TV basketball, fantastic, right? Love
yeah.
TV basketball. Something about the way they film basketball too, the back and forth, you
Mhm.
know. But dude, live baseball, man, the smell of the grass. It's just all the different little things I really enjoy. It's been a while for me to been to do a game, so it was like, oh man, I forgot how much I enjoy the live baseball. If I retired, bro, which will never happen, but if I were to retire and I live near a stadium, which will also never happen with the A's leaving, I would be super into having like season tickets to baseball. That'd be a cool thing to have.
Yeah, I appreciate the smell of the grass. I appreciate the crack of the bat. I appreciate all of those things. I can appreciate them in like a half hour, and I don't need to be like 2.5 hours. And it's just like I don't know. I'm bored by baseball even live now in a way that I wasn't before, and so it's like I can't. I wouldn't like. I'd rather spend my money on going to season tickets like basketball games.
Yeah,
To me, that was a
yeah.
fun time out. You know what I mean? Like whereas like I don't know about. And plus, it's indoors. Like football, it's like I would never want to have season tickets to football. That's just stupid.
No, no, and I agree
It's
with you.
just so
You made a
stupid.
That's a fantastic point. Night games for baseball are the one where it starts off in the day
Yeah.
and it goes into night. I like that vibe. I like that vibe where it's night and then it goes into it.
It's
Basketball, dude. Yeah, I mean, I had season tickets about 8, 9 years. Me and BK had them. You're not wrong. It's just like I don't know. Like I do love live basketball, but thing for me is my stadium got taken away, and I'm not moving. You know, and it's like
yeah.
and I don't have a connection. The new stadium, I just don't. The vibe's not there for me, and I'm still sour. Come back and talk to me another 10 years. Maybe I'll lighten up on it. And I know BK, if he was here, he'd be going off on me in the chat. But I lost that feeling for basketball live. It's gone.
Yeah.
Although I did go to I told you know this. I went to a Memphis game this past year, and I really enjoyed
Mhm.
that. I really enjoyed that. And the year prior to that, I went to a Jazz game, and I really enjoyed
Yeah.
that. So the vibe's still there. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, I know what you mean, dude. I totally know what you mean. Live, look, basketball. It's my favorite sport too, out of the professional sports. So I'm not going to disagree with you. But there's just something so. I grew up going to baseball with like my grandpa. It's just something. There's something about it. It's like, just like the dude got hit in the
So,
foot, and I was like, oh, you got hit in the foot. And they played it in the slow mo on the big screen. You're like, oh, that was horrible. Like it's crazy.
so like I like 90s the as a part of baseball that I used to really love, and like baseball was a sport that like the 90s and stuff, bro. Like my favorite athletes, like a lot of them were in baseball, like Ken Griffey, you know what I mean, Ricky Henderson, like these dudes played baseball. They didn't play other like Pedro Martinez, you know what I mean? Like I love
Pedro Martinez. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
love, dude. He's my
yeah.
favorite pitcher of all time, like that I've seen. Because I mean, I didn't watch like Nolan Ryan. I'm sure if I watched Nolan Ryan, I'd be like, oh, that guy's insane. He's amazing. So like in my lifetime, Pedro's like the dude, bro. Like that guy, throwing those like fastballs, hitting people. You know what I mean? Like pissing them off, getting in fights and stuff.
Yeah.
Calling the Yankees his daddy. Like he's my guy, bro. Like I'm his fan nowadays. Like I'm so disconnected from the sport. Like I'm just so like I know of like certain good players or who are really fun to watch, and I don't even really watch them. Like I should probably spend more time looking for Shohei Otani, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like I don't really watch that. So
It's a good
yeah,
background sport, though. I will say it's cool one to throw a slap on the background. The things to do that I think
cool. But go ahead.
it they fixed one issue so far with lowering the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
The next thing they need to fix, this is my personal opinion, let's cut down the amount of games. Now, I'm not saying shorten the length of the season.
Mm,
Maybe they could take more. Well, hear me out on this, dude. They take more breaks throughout the week so that they're not as beat up. The players aren't as beat up. So then we get bigger hits. We get more better pitches. That we're not wearing these guys out as much. I don't know. That's my theory is to cut down and it ups the excitement level because now the games matter more than they matter. They matter at currently. Because like
every go ahead. No, no, go
no,
ahead.
no, I mean that's all I gotta say. That's all. That was just my hot take.
Yeah, I'm just saying any sport can benefit from having less games because that means there's more build up to each game. There's less for people to kind of have to you can follow it really easily, right? Like people are distracted by a lot of stuff. If you only have to worry about like 16 or 17 games, NFL, for example, that makes it really easy to follow. So of course every sport benefits, but to me, baseball can't cut down the games or can't even extend the season because every time baseball's World Series happens, football's in full swing, basketball's about to start, right? Like they always and they don't even get the most attention. People rather watch Sunday night football than watch the World Series. So it's like I don't think there's any solution to like pushing the season out. I mean,
No,
it's like
not
you
push it out. Maybe pull it back in then. Yeah, just less games.
yeah, try
Yeah,
to yeah
yeah.
something because
I mean,
it just can't be yeah.
I
I
I, I
mean, I don't.
I'm not an expert on this. I'm
People
just
solve
saying.
it. It's not, I mean, the thing is, the sport is just too slow for today's like group of people. Like, it's just not conducive to like today's entertainment. It's not like clippable
That's
really,
what I was
and
about to say. It's hard to
yeah,
get the Insta clip, that quick little like moment, that badass moment. They're far and few between. Bases loaded, guy hits a grand slam. That doesn't happen that often, and they need more of that to build up the excitement so they could have more highlights, crazy catches, people climbing up the wall. Maybe they should add some steps on the walls or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. There's some things they could do. Little nets that they could hang on or something. Maybe some ropes on the indoor stadiums they could swing on, huh? Like some Tarzan style catches. I'm just saying.
uh,
Remember when
it's
the
the problem is, bro, is that one thing too is baseball has always been kind of, at least with the American sports, I think probably all sports, has been on the cutting edge of like analytics, right? Because the thing that baseball allows you to do is to isolate actions. Everything is so slow and static. You can isolate actions and then measure those actions and determine what are going to be the probable outcomes if something happens like 1,000 times, right? And by doing that, they have realized the optimal way to play the sport, which is batters swing for the fences. It's not about putting the ball in play. It's not about hitting singles, stuff like that. It's about swinging for home runs or strikeouts, right? The pitchers have gotten good. The scouting is so advanced, so people can get guys out all the time, right? With the shifts, which they've cut down on, but with all those types of things, like there's a better understanding of how to combat hitting.
yeah,
So you're not seeing how when we were in the '90s with the stuff that we used to like when we were kids is bro, they would hit singles, they would steal bases,
yeah,
they would hit bunt people over. That stuff's exciting. All of that's gone now.
yeah, yeah.
So and that's not coming back. So baseball is just
It
nothing
could.
can say.
Maybe it could. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see that what happens to baseball in the future, dude.
Yeah,
It's a rager in Japan, from my understanding. They're loving it over
yeah.
there.
I mean, yeah. And like cricket's big in
Australia
countries out.
still, yeah,
Yeah. It's not like that. Sometimes you just have sports that just are just ingrained in the culture, and that's just what people want to watch. You know what I mean? Like soccer is not as exciting, I guess, as basketball and stuff like that, but it's the world's most popular sport. You know what I mean? Like, and most Americans can't understand why it's popular, but it is the world's most popular sport. So some stuff, it just is what it is.
yeah, yeah. Well, they just haven't gotten other sports yet. All right, so I threw this in there only because I absolutely hated this guy. If Fats was in the chat, he would know why I put this in here. When he played for the Tigers, Detroit, man, and that was when we were
Also,
still. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. I mean, that's not fine. I don't. That's for our fourth show that we haven't started here, the politics show. Fact of the matter is,
Okay.
I hated this dude. When he played for the Tigers, I hated this guy. And that's when we were like decently good and making a run for the playoffs and stuff, if you remember. And this
Yep.
this mofo, he knocked us out one time, and I was irate.
Mhm.
Irate.
Mhm.
And I haven't heard the name in forever. I had made the assumption in my mind, I hadn't even thought about it, but in my mind, I guess I'd figured he must have retired. You know, I knew he wasn't with the Tigers anymore. I forget I thought he played for Texas.
So you're on the right track. He left the Tigers and then he went to the Astros.
Astros.
And he won the World Series with the Astros. I
That's
think
right.
he also won the Cy Young Award with the Astros as well that
Okay.
year. So I think or AL MVP or something. He won some sort of MVP type of award that year for the Astros. He won the title, and then this year he went as a free agent, I believe, to New York to play for the Mets, and the Mets have now traded him back to the Astros.
Yeah.
So he is, he's not obviously what he was when he was with Detroit, and he was, killing us when we were with Oakland, right? But he is still really great. I've always felt that he is he's a better regular season pitcher than postseason guy.
Yeah.
Like to me, he's not as bad as Clayton Kershaw or something, but he's always been a little shakier in the postseason. If you remember, at least this is my memory, and Fats can correct me if I'm wrong if he's in the chat.
He's not.
What?
He's not. No, go ahead.
Okay, but when we lost to the Tigers, back in the postseason, it wasn't Verlander who killed us. It was Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
If you remember, Max Scherzer was the dude who was going out there and just destroying us. We couldn't hit that dude. And if I remember correctly, it was him. Whereas Verlander was not as great in that series. He was still good. I think he had a game against Sonny Gray, I think, that he totally outdueled him.
I might have been at that game, and that's why it stands out to me.
That's the one that we remember, I think, yeah, because he outdueled him that game. But I think it was Max Scherzer.
Sonny Gray, really, man, that was our G, dude. He was good, man.
He was a guy, but it's always the big three that was like the most romantic era for us, right? Like Tim Hudson, Mark Mulder, Barry Zito. It was those three guys that.
Barry Zito went to the Giants.
Yeah, and all three of them were just not as good in the postseason. They kept getting just not because this is the other thing that they realized in baseball. When we used to watch baseball, right, much more frequently. You would have guys like Barry Zito, whose fastball topped out at 88, 90, right? And he was more about a control and trying to tricking you with his stuff, right? You saw the same thing with guys like Tim Wakefield, if you remember him from the Boston Red Sox, just throwing that knuckleball, throwing slow stuff, right? That's changed. The analytics taught us that it's not about your stuff like that and your kind of. It's about speed, how hard you can throw. You know what I mean? So now, they all look for power pitchers. And so that's also changed because now they realize those are the best guys and those are the guys who kind of make it,
Yeah.
Your fastball better hit 95, dog. You better be hitting 95.
Yeah.
So,
no, yeah. The thing that you said to do that, I totally 100% agree with you, is that when we were growing up, you had your singles, your doubles, you had these different plays, a bunt, this, that, a steal. Coco would steal, this, that, the other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously Henderson when we were real young. But I'm saying, even into our high school years, I remember going to a lot of games even in that time period with Coco and stuff. That has totally, it is just hit the fences and see if the outfielders can catch it. Your infield, all they're doing is playing to catch the ball that the outfielders got. And then make a second throw for the double. If they can. And that's really all that the infielders are really doing for the most part. It is a different game. I do like talking. It's interesting. Until we started doing this show, I hadn't really even thought too much about baseball the last few years. Now doing it with you, it is I'm reminded of how much time I have spent back in the day watching and enjoying baseball. It is interesting. I guess I romanticize it a little bit, but I do really enjoy the baseball. But let's move on. We got.
I've always on baseball. I mean, we don't really have. I mean, probably don't have time to get all stuff anyway, and my connection keeps going in and out anyway. So we can save that for next.
Well, we're going to do. We got nothing else going. Also, this is our Tuesday show. Our Tuesday show usually is a longer show, so we're filling the void this week, and we missed.
Okay.
We missed last. I don't remember.
Yeah, but let's talk about this big story here.
I
This
thought
is
this was a
the
big story. Sadu is under saying it's not that big of a story. I thought it was
I
huge.
think
Maybe I'm looking too much into it because he is LeBron's son, but I man, this was like breaking. I mean, this is a CNN article I've got here, bro. This is breaking news when it happened. This is like Pee Wee Herman dying. This is groundbreaking, bro. Also, R.I.P. Pee Wee. Uh,
yeah.
great man, great man.
I mean, I think it's like you just said that at the beginning. It's only a big news because he's LeBron's son. I like Michael Jordan's son is dating
Yeah,
Scottie
yeah,
Pippen.
yeah,
We only really know about all that because of Michael Jordan and well Scottie Pippen as well
yeah, yeah, yeah.
by association to Michael
Michael
Jordan.
Jordan. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, yes, there's certain people you reach a certain level of fame. Look, I think I didn't have much to say about this because I think I'm almost I think I can speak for you and anyone even listening to this is like prayers up for the kid. Obviously, like we want him to we want him to be as healthy as possible, and it's a scary thing. Obviously, that happened. This is something that has happened not to him, but like to a lot of other athletes in high school, college, things like that, cardiac arrest, suffering them. So I don't know what the cause. I don't know what's going on. There hasn't been a study that at least I've seen about it, but we have seen this before. Just happy he's healthy, and I'm sure he's going to receive the best medical care that is possible in this world. And I hope whatever happens, the rest of his life, just be healthy and be great. Whatever, you know what I mean? I don't know what else to say.
Is there? Well, do you have any deets? Like, I mean, from I didn't think that
I don't have any details.
like
I don't have any.
he didn't have any preemptive health issues, is what I'm asking, right? Like, there's no background story on this.
Yeah, I don't think there is like any background. I mean, look, if he has prior health issues that would lead to this, we wouldn't know about him because that's his medical history. So, and where no one's going to know about them because that shit's not going to be released. The only way people are going to know if he had this happen before, but he's never had a cardiac arrest before. At least none that if anyone has documented. So yeah, it's just I don't know what the future holds for him. Like I don't know if he can play again. I don't know. I have really no clue, but like I just wish the best for him.
Do you,
Obviously, you
you
know what I
do
mean.
you, do
Like
you think you will? Like, what's your personal theories here?
I
Like, do you
think I think he can play again if the doctors tell him he's not at some sort of risk. Now I don't know how cardiac arrest like something like a electrical failure almost in your system as a human being. Like that's what a cardiac arrest, as I understand it, to be. I don't know if that means like he has like a defect or not like a defect, but like some sort of you know disease or something that is there where it's like it broke like Chris Bosh had that issue with blood clots. There's something I think with him with blood clots, and it was like, bro, you can't play anymore, so you have to retire. So I think the same thing might that happens to Bonnie, but I don't know. And there's no one, nothing that we would know about it. So
I just thought it was interesting. I felt bad for the young man. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about him the last couple of years, even before this whole thing, and obviously that has a lot to do with who his dad is. There's definitely a whole little thing built up around him. So it was just wow. This definitely, I think this caught the world off guard because the last year and a half we've been hearing so much about him. Will he make it to the big question's been, will he make it to the NBA and be able to play with his dad? There's been all this talk about that. Then boom, out of left field, this happens, and you're like, whoa! I did not see this coming. I'm pondering, did they not see this coming, or has he had medical issues down in the past? And this, if you were a member of his family, wasn't that big of a surprise. I was just wondering if there was any news on that. You used to do our sports analyst here at Overshow. If you had
there's
any knowledge
nothing.
on that.
LeBron just told us that LeBron just thanked everyone for praying for his son and thanked everyone's good wishes. He posted a photo or a video of his son playing the piano afterwards at some point, and that was about it. I think there was some TMZ photo of him going to dinner, Bronny, with his family as well, but there's nothing that we know about his future at all. So we don't know. What we do know is that prior to him having this issue, he was projected to be an NBA lottery pick in the 2024 NBA draft. Many people had him as possibly a top 10 pick, which now that don't be confused and think, oh, that means he's going to be a superstar. the reason Bronny James is a top 10 projected pick, at least prior to this issue, was because the draft that's upcoming in 2024 is one of the worst in NBA history. So, you got to pick someone.
Yeah.
So that's why he was high up in the draft. So,
well, like you said, dude, we wish him the best. We hope that we don't want to see anyone, especially at his age, having these issues. That's just a shame. He has such a bright future ahead of him. So, wish you the best. And like you also said this to do. I'm sure he's getting the best medical attention. So good on him. Now, I should have put this one first because this is kind of a crossover from our baseball talk. I saw this, and it just made me think of you and Fats. Because this is just a dope little jersey right here, dude. This is a dope little jersey the Dodgers are doing. The Dodgers are doing a Kobe Bryant day at the ballpark, or night, I guess. Yeah, it's a annual Laker night. That's cool. But this jersey, man, with the snake skin, I mean, it's black for the Mamba, Black Mamba. I mean, man, that's a cool looking jersey. I don't have anything else to say other than I saw this and was just like, that is cool. I got to bring this up on the show. Had you seen this, and what was your thoughts?
I thought that's really cool that they're doing a giveaway. Like, that's just a giveaway, right? So that's kind of cool. I mean, you can tell from the picture the material is absolutely thin as crap, and it's probably going to, it's not the greatest, but that's probably why it's a giveaway. But I thought it was cool. I understood why he has a connection to the Dodgers, having played for the Lakers. He's thrown the first pitch, I think, before, as they're showing right there in the video. So he has some sort of connection. I think he uses his family in the games. So, it makes sense for them to honor him, and I'm sure they'll get a big crowd that night.
I was trying to see if they had a number on how many they're going to give away. There we go. We'll watch this quick little clip here of Kobe. Great throw. He's the best, man. He was the best. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Well,
that's young Kobe right there.
Yeah. Shout out.
That is young Kobe.
Shout out to the Mamba, man. Never forget. There's old Kobe.
That's old Kobe.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that stare. It's like he's like the Rock, man. He's looking like the Rock in this image. Just that stare down, like he's gonna raise one eyebrow. He's about to raise one eyebrow on you. And we had one other little Kobe news. I stay on my Kobe news. They're doing a Kobe Bryant. Oh well, first off, I think they've taken a break from doing the Kobe line with the iconic Kobe logo, and it sounds like they're bringing it back. And not only are they bringing it back, from my understanding, they're also going to do, and I think this, am I wrong to say, Stu? Is this the first time, or have they done this in the past, a Kobe Bryant Air Force One?
I'm not up to date. I think this is the first time I've seen anything like it. I don't think they've done this. I mean, so yeah, I think this is the first time. I'm not like a big Air Force One fan, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Lakers colorways on shoes necessarily.
Yeah.
No offense.
It's a good game. It's a good game day shoe if I had season tickets or something, or was going to a game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, something like that. But like, you can't really wear that out. So
unless you're decked out in Laker gear.
Yeah, or like the only way to pull that off with like an actual outfit is to literally have like all black outfit and just be let the shoe thing that like pops. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. I like that look.
You can do that, but I mean, like, that's, it's limited utility on the Lakers colors.
Yeah.
Shoes.
Yeah.
Much better as like a shirt or something,
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting. I'd never seen that before. Yeah. I thought it was exciting that they're bringing back the Kobe line with his little iconic logo.
Board thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was that. That was. These are the Tubi subjects. I brought in a jersey and shoes to talk about. So.
Which is way better than my subjects.
Well, we got
You brought this too.
we got two Siddhuey subjects, and then we got a funny little clip to wrap it all up. And we're coasting on time, dude. We're just now. Yeah, you, you're overthinking it, dog. We're coasting on time. All right, let's get into this one, dude. I sent this one to you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw it as well.
Mm.
Why don't you just dive right in, Sidhu, and give us the breakdown?
Unsurprisingly, many athletes, professional athletes, use or smoke weed. Like they know when testing is, and well, let's put it this way: let's go to football, for example. Football still has weed testing or whatever, but like Travis Kelsey, a player right now plays for the Chiefs, one of the great tight ends of all time. He said that most players smoke, but they just know what the testing is and they just avoid it. Prior to the NBA lifting the rules on weed, remember now it's legal to smoke weed in the NBA.
During the
You can
season.
smoke, yeah, during, after, whenever the fuck. You can smoke weed if you want in the NBA.
Let me ask you something real quick before you dive in here. It was illegal to smoke after the season?
Yeah, it's always been illegal.
But what if I live in a state that it's legal in?
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter?
Yeah, it didn't matter. You played for a league that didn't allow it.
What if I'm in between contracts?
It doesn't matter because the minute you sign the next contract, they're gonna test you if they find that you're fucking high.
I'd be drinking that apple vinegar cider.
People, even when even when it was illegal, people still smoked.
Yeah. I imagine.
It was when they didn't. So now that everyone knows Kevin Durant smokes a lot, it's kind of like a known thing in the league. So I mean, it's just like, yeah, he smelled like weed when he talked to the fucking commissioner. That's what it is, dog. Like, the NBA players smoke. Like, I honestly, I don't. My whole thing is, look, as someone who spends a decent amount of time in his own apartment, right? Weed's a nice thing to enjoy a movie with, for example. To like, it's a nice little like thing there to have to just kind of like, enjoy a movie, enjoy a television show, whatever, play video games. These guys are more cooped up at their home. Like I choose to be at home. Those guys in some cases just are stuck at home because they can't go out because they're fame. It's like, bro, let them get high and chill. You know what I mean? Like I'd fucking need to get high if I was that famous.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, I think that's a weird take, your theory there, because I think they got all the money in the world. They could rent out a whole building and hang out. But I do think that now in the world we live in, if it's legal in certain states and stuff, like, it's just like beer. Are they outlawing beer? Like they can't drink? That would be crazy. Yeah. So I mean, it's not a game. It's not an advantage while playing the game. You ain't getting. I don't imagine Durant's taking an edible and then going out there and shooting, having a 40-point night. That'd be ridiculous. So if it's not, like a steroid use kind of fit vibe, then who really gives a crap, is what I would think personally. I just thought it was funny, and the main reason I put it in there, and you already know what I'm about to say, smelled it. I just thought that was such a good headline. And everything that I was like, oh man, I gotta send this to Sidhu. This is hilarious. And this image they used of him, he looks so goofy, like he's stoned right there. Looking.
Might be.
But I imagine it's not also like, I imagine personally that it'd be better to take edibles and stuff than it would be to actually smoking it because just lung capacity and stuff for them. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I do wonder how. I mean, yeah, in that case, I'm sure Durant smoked, and yeah, that lung capacity. But I mean, shit, bro, they're relatively young, so like they're in great shape. I'm sure they could pull it off. I don't know.
All right,
I don't know.
Okay, to answer Addie's question, they don't gotta rent a whole building. I'm saying they could go places that me and Sidhu can't go. They can go to expensive clubs. They could go to country clubs. They could go here. They could go there. They got. I mean, if the reason I don't go out, unlike what Sidhu was saying, because I don't have money. If I had Kevin Durant money, being famous wouldn't be stopping me from going out. I'd be going out all the time. I'd do a little autograph sign here, a little autograph sign there. Hey, I'm gonna check out Oppenheimer. Excuse me, thank you. God. And I got so much money. I got 2 giant security guards on left and right. I'm stone cold chilling. I'm stone cold chilling, Addy. I'm stone cold chilling. And then I'm going over to Siddhuey's house and forcing him to get off his couch and come out with me to these dope little clubs and stuff. We're going to Top Golf. Siddhuey goes, oh, I don't like Top Golf. I don't care, Siddhuey. We're hanging out here for the day. And I'm so rich, I'm going to smoke inside Top Golf because I'm paying off everybody with undos. That's what I'm saying, Addy, to answer Addy's question. And I'm building my own skate park in my backyard. I don't got to go anywhere. I got so much money. So that's what I think's going on. So Siddhuey's theory is that they just want to get stoned and watch some like Rugrats at home on the couch.
No, bro. I mean, like, what I'm saying is,
I know. I'm making jokes, dude. I'm just making jokes.
You know.
No, I get what you're saying. They don't want to get bombarded to do the autographs. They're sick of doing all that. That you're saying they just want to sit at home. Maybe if have a few homies come by. They probably got beautiful pads too, and they just want to chill. You know, hit something up real nice, whatever. And I'm sure they're going into nice clubs and just buying whatever they want. They probably got marijuana brands that crazy stuff we ain't even seen before. You know what I'm saying? Like some crazy next level stuff going on here. So that's like feeling like they're bored, bro. They gotta chill at home. They just want to eat some shrooms and just do her out real quick. What else are you gonna do on the weekend?
There was like a report about that. Like most of these NBA players like don't live the kind of lives that you think because like most of them are just like on the road and they have to like sit at home and do whatever.
Yeah, during the regular season, for sure.
You know,
for sure. No, dude. It's the same thing. I think even in like just from being involved in extreme sports, that like your imagination when you're young is that it's this crazy cool thing and it's so crazy, but then when you're actually in the mix of doing it, you realize real quickly like, oh no, it's not. it's this and this, and the really really cool stuff only happens every now and then. You know what I mean? And then it dawns on you like, man, that's not what I thought it was like when I was a kid. But I think we all build up these imaginations, especially when we're younger, and you think it's gonna be like balling out hella crazy, this, that, and the other, but I'm sure in the off season though, man, I've seen the photos of them. They're on jet skis. They're having a good old time. We've seen the photo of all. What was that photo of all of them on that inflatable thing?
Banana boat crew.
Remember that? Remember that?
Boat, yeah.
That looked like fun.
I mean, they go on vacation like normal people, but like I don't think a lot of them, like James Harden is living the life that you are talking about, that you dream of. James Harden is doing that.
I'm not personally dreaming of it to do, but yes, go on. Yes.
Yeah. James Harden is like going to clubs and he's spending his time in studios listening to like artists record music.
Yeah.
He's like showing up to games. Like he's doing that kind of shit, you know? Like, so yeah. But anyway, let's move on to
he is living the life, right? I guess he is living that rock star life. I think that's the imagination we have too. Is it all comes from like the 60s, 70s, 80s rock and roll fame, where those dudes.
Yeah, all the debauchery and all
Stones,
the crazy, like,
they were the ones really living it up, like what we're imagining, going into restaurants and smashing everything and stuff. Addy, you're right, Addy. What's the point of having a big house if you can't blaze in it? Yeah, I agree. But tell me, agree with me here. Us at Top Golf, some good times gonna be had. Some good times. Siddhuey on a banana boat. I mean, some good times gonna be had here, bro. We had some money coming in. So watch the show, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so we can make that happen. Because who doesn't want to see Siddhuey Reviewy on jet skis? Because, dude, I'll tell you something, Siddhuey. Some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. We had jet skis for Spencer's bachelor party, right? And we were on a lake. Bro. Them jets, the sit-down ones, not them stand-ups. Them stand-ups are dangerous. But those sit-down ones to do, one day we're going to I dream of being able to have my own.
One of the things about, like, I'm not a water guy.
I'm not either, bro.
I'm not a water guy. I would much rather go like on a crazy hike than go water. I hate water. I'm afraid of it. I have a fear of like big bodies of water. We're talking about big ass fucking lakes. Ocean. I'm scared
Oceans,
of
yeah,
that
oceans
shit.
are spooky. Yeah,
And I'm scared of heights. I'm scared as fuck of heights, bro. That shit. Like, did you hear about the story about that guy who was like that crazy daredevil dude who like died just recently, like in Hong Kong or something?
I fell off the building.
Like, yeah,
He
like
was French, I
even
think, right?
yeah, he's a French guy. Yeah, he's whatever.
Yeah, but dude,
But
I'm not saying we're gonna go parkour off buildings and stuff here,
I know.
bro.
I'm just okay. Yeah. Sorry, my fucking. I gotta call my niece here right now. So let's hurry this up. It's like I gotta get off.
Sadu's got to go. BK said,
Gotta
"Face your
go.
fears." BK said,
Yeah.
"Face your fears." And just Jerry wants a Siddhuey review on the sea. Thank you, Jerry. All right, Sidhu, we got one. This is your last subject right here, so you could tuck your niece in.
Just quick thing here. Jaylen Brown is now the highest paid player in the NBA. People are probably like, "That's fucking crazy. He doesn't deserve that money." Whatever. Like, deserve what in life? People willing to pay you for it. Why not take it? There was a time when Mike Conley was the highest paid player in the NBA, and people made fun of that. But eventually, other people's contracts caught up to that, and they surpassed him. The same thing will happen with Jaylen Brown. So it's not a big deal that he's the highest paid player at this point. What does this mean for the Celtics going forward? They'll probably always be around to contend, but will they ever get over the hump? I doubt it. So yeah, that's just that. He's the highest paid player in the NBA. Congratulations to him. Average annually like $6 million, I think. So pretty great. Good job.
That's,
that man.
that's it. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said. I think to me the
Does
more
he
interesting
deserve
part.
it?
I always say, bro, if they're willing to pay you, then yeah, you deserve it. Like, I mean, look, no player you could probably like. Here's the thing: with him on the team at this salary, and Jason Tatum at the salary that he is going to be on next, coming up, right? They really have no more moves to go make a team much better. So the question is, are these two guys good enough to go win a title? So far, the answer is no, because they haven't done it. So it doesn't seem like a great move. It doesn't seem like he's worth that money. But if they go win a title, it'll be worth it. So it remains to be seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and what's your personal opinion? No or yes?
I think they had to make this move because I don't think if they decided not to give him this money, he would have left, and they have no other recourse to go get a player of similar value. So you have to overpay and give him what he basically wants.
Yeah. Okay.
Just yeah. So.
I was surprised to see this because I don't think he's worth it personally, but I think you're right. They didn't have any other future, things to see here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're on the last subject. Fats, you got here just in time to see the last subject. I found this guy again, and I guess Barstool Sports is they're on the lookout for this guy. That's way too loud. This is the same gentleman we watched, was it last show?
Yeah, last show, but it was like 2 weeks ago.
And he was getting all frustrated with his buddy about the scoring, and then you said you got it because he made a good point that they have lost this last 7 games or whatever. Well,
it doesn't make sense that it's the same guy because the other guy was a Braves fan. This guy was a Mets fan, so I don't know what's going on here. But I think the only thing they had in common, if these are two separate people, is they're fat. But yeah, that's really it.
This is the same guy.
And I don't know why he was complaining about the Braves before. I
think he was a Mets fan. Or maybe they're playing the Braves.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. He's become famous because, yes, he's loud. But there's another reason why he's become famous. His weight and that society.
I get what you're saying. I think that's not how the internet works, though. He became famous because he was the original footage was funny, and now this is like a random person. Also, Barstool Sports. This is what they do, but someone spotted him, and he clearly sitting in like the handicap zone or whatever that may. At the A's game, that would be the handicap zone. I don't know about the Mets stadium. And someone spotted him because maybe he was being loud, and they just hawk-eyed him. So, interesting. Yeah. Interesting. I just thought it was weird because we just talked about him last week, and then I saw him again, and I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Sidhu has got to go, everybody. He's already 1 foot out the door right here. So we got some comments in the chat. Everyone, thanks for being here. BK saying a bunch of stuff about Boston, about facts, this, that, the other. BK, we can't get to it. Siddhuey has got to go.
Thanks for watching.
He said that's not how the internet works, Siddhuey. Yeah. All right. But yeah, we'll be back next week, and hopefully Siddhuey will not have to go immediately, and we'll dive into some more fun facts. We'll get to the bottom of why that guy's famous on the internet. maybe there'll be another clip, and maybe he'll do an interview, and we'll have more information about him. Yeah. Fats, I know you were here the whole time. Fats, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and when you're done watching, just immediately press the like button. We'd really appreciate it. All right.